All right, this is your market recap for May 19th, 2025. Today we played bullish after hitting a pretty big retrace on the weekly candle and this daily wick here. What I wanted us to do before anything happened was reach down here into this weekly inverse fair value gap. The reason I was looking for that is because if we go to the weekly time frame, we can see this gap right here, reacted off of it here, validated it, and then we had this huge expansion and a closure outside of it. So I was expecting us to come back down here, but this it was too big of an expansion last week for us to come all the way back down here, which is understandable. So if we mark out this fair value gap right here on this daily, that's what that red dotted line is going forwards, and we could see price stops perfectly on it. Now if we go down to the hourly time frame, we can see once again price reacting almost perfectly to that, and then kind of just rally up. This this orange line here is equilibrium from low to high, right? So we hit equilibrium of the most recent move, which I believe the algorithm considered good enough, because if we grade this whole thing from this low to this high, obviously we need to come below this low. But this equilibrium of the most recent move seems to have gotten the job done, I'll say. So we look here, almost equilibrium, that might be counted as okay. And so if this is good, then we just need to worry about that one. So maybe that's what price was worrying about. But nonetheless, market opened, swept these lows, and rallied kind of all the way. Daily targets were these highs over here. I think you might be able to see on a lower time frame, but we had an SMT of these highs, which caused this bearish leg here to take out this low. If we go down to the 15-minute, yeah, you can see that SMT up there. ES, this high was higher than this one. And that's not the case on NQ, so that tells us, it kind of tips its hand that it's going to play bearish. So first, if we look here, we have a fair value gap, 15-minute sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. We see that get validated with this reaction here, and then we see price come up and break through it here, respect it 75%, respect it at the bottom, and then of course market opens and just rallies the whole day. We have this 15-minute fair value gap, again, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Price validates it with these reactions here, right off the low and 25%. So that validates it. We expand at market open, close above it, wick down into it almost perfectly to concentrate encroachment of it, and then again, expand higher. From there, again, targeting these daily highs. And these SMT, which in my mind eliminates the need or the desire to come all the way down here this week. I think we've already fulfilled our sell side, I'll call it our sell side duty this week with this bearish move there. So if we go down to the 5-minute candle, not much more on the 5-minute, you can just see market opens and we rip all the way up, taking out highs throughout the way, hitting this one. This 15-minute, again, the 15-minute candle closed here, dipped down, hit this, and then kind of expanded from there. Took out this high, that was the AM session target, went horizontal from there. During the macro, we have this 5-minute sell or buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. You look at price react nicely off of concentrate encroachment 3 times, well, 4 if you count this one. And then during the macro, these lows have an SMT, which you'll see on the 1-minute. And then we expand higher, hitting the daily target from there, and then coming back down to hit this low. The reason we didn't play sell side during lunch, the only reason I can think is because we did here, right? We started the move pretty early, like 9:30 sharp. So we're looking for a retrace around the early minutes of 10 o'clock. We get that. Boom, 5-minute fair value gap. SMT of these lows, start playing bullish. So that's enough in my mind. This although it's not to equilibrium, it's price showing us that given that's the right time to retrace, and it still doesn't want to come down to equilibrium and react off this 5 minute, it's telling us that it does not want to go up. So from there, like I mentioned, market just comes all the way up here, daily target, and we fall down from there. Now the 1 minute doesn't really show much more. No SMT of these lows. We do come down, take out this liquidity here before heading bullish. So that could have been traded off of, but I didn't feel comfortable with that, especially with being a no news Monday. Market opens, we rip straight up kind of the whole way, even the macro. This nice 1 minute fair value gap. Look at the bodies. The bodies respect it perfectly. Plays bullish one more, taking out this high over here. Well, I guess it would be this high over here. Then it's time to retrace. We started the move early, so it's time to retrace on that move. 10:20, 10:30 is what I would expect, given we started the move at 9:30. Come back down, reaction, concentric encroachment, all this 5 minute. During the macro, SMT of lows can play an expansive move from here. Probably would have gotten one profit and then out at break even. Yeah, with this high, profit there, break even there. That's okay. But if you held it, it would have hit the daily target here. And then no SMT of these highs, but price came back down to retrace, swept this low, last hour of trading. Let's see, this 15 macro, we were already moving. The 3 o'clock macro started this move. Last hour of trading is just kind of one big macro. We have the 250 to 310 macro, then we have the 315 to 345 macro, and then the 350 to 410. So macro here reverses us, another macro here takes this low and then reverses us. SMT of these lows, playing bullish, targeting these highs here, and also tapping that old high one more time. So yeah, I mean, as far as a No News Monday goes, this was pretty active, but very limited opportunities to act on it, with little, I'll say, opposing direction move before just ripping all the way up. So yeah, higher time frame. Like I mentioned, I wanted price to come down here because we had this SMT of these highs, but seeing this SMT cause this move here, taking this low, hitting equilibrium of the most recent move, reacting off this daily buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, concentric encroachment, and then rebounding off that, taking out this high. In my opinion, these are no longer targets, right? We have our sell side delivery of the week. We clearly rejected off of it. And so now we're just looking to play higher. I mean, we're hitting this high, might retrace. So maybe equilibrium of this move, kind of, we'll see what happens overnight, and that will guide us into what to do tomorrow. There's also no news tomorrow, no orange folder or red folder news. So that will maybe cause the markets to be a little slower, but again, as always, we will see what the market gives us overnight. So Asian session, London session, and pre-market before we come up with any solid trade ideas. So this has been your market recap for May 19th, 2025.